In my opinion, this is the continuing of the Holocaust. It's a perfect weapon. You can make your enemy kill himself.
This is psychological warfare. I can't identify my captor, but I know I'm in some kind of a mental prison.
These victims will tell you that in addition to the reported symptoms, they are being physically zapped, seemingly by directed energy on the inside and outside of the body. These zaps can create pain and limb movement. They are attacks that react in real time to their thoughts. These symptoms are known as electronic harassment. Other victims report that in addition to strange noises, they have round-the-clock voices talking to them in their head, voices that react to their thoughts and spoken word. These voices typically say some of the most vile and evil things you could say to a person. Threats of rape, murder, attacks on loved ones, or things to create paranoia, humiliation, and ridicule, usually a combination of all of the above. These attacks are known as V2K, or voice to skull, and in many cases seem to be computer-generated. Sometimes these voices will pose as God or some demonic spirit, which encourages the victim to carry out acts of violence, murder, or self-harm.
I woke up Friday, October 5th, 2018 with loud, crystal clear audible voices. It's absolute full ownership of your auditory cortex.
This technology allows to pipe in voices into one's head.
It's like utter paralyzing confusion and terror, because all of a sudden, out of nowhere, it seems like you're hearing this voice and it's criticizing you and it's making these horrible remarks on you, and it comes out of nowhere.
It just sounded like having a cell phone call with somebody, but it's directly in your head. At first, it'd make me talk out loud to them as they were talking to my head, and then I realized that they could literally, I just have to think, and now we have like conversations completely like in my own head with them. Yeah. Silent, which is bizarre.
I was also manipulated by V2K, pretending to be God. For me, that's been one of the hardest things I've had to deal with. So it took a while for me to get my faith back. So it's very dangerous.
The V2K was saying that they were going to kill my mother and my pets. And they were going to kill me and make it look like it was a suicide.
They have the ability to hit us with frequencies, anything from, please go kill yourself, or you deserve every bit of this.
It's very apparent that the voice that you're hearing has no good intentions for you, to belittle you, to denigrate you, to hurt you, to terrify you, to make you panic, to make you confused, and you just start to lose your grasp on what's going on. Ultimately, if you can think of the darkest things that you could say to somebody, something that you would never say to somebody, those are the sorts of things that it uses to destroy you.
At first, they were saying a lot of homosexual things to me. Once that really didn't fly, as far as, getting me mad or whatever, they switched over to talking a lot about pedophilia, and that was happening a lot.
Automated torture, 24/7, 365. You have to understand that it's just a computer. Whatever you don't like, it will continue doing.
It was mocking, deriding, and then they can suggest thoughts and actions and emotions. About 6 months of straight-on torture, driving me to the absolute brinks of sanity.
V2K exploits fears, traumas, insecurities. It deceives, it manipulates.
80% of the time now, it is negative, extremely negative, horrific. But then 20% of the time, they'll have conversations with me. They'll talk with me. They'll ask me what I think about this.
They almost attempt to build a relationship with us. And if we don't respond to that relationship, they try to make us feel guilty.
I'm sitting here and I'm feeling these frequencies, these energy beams going into my head, and pain, pressure.
Microwave auditory effect is not limited to producing sensation of sound. It doesn't mean that it exclusively produces auditory sensation. It's not true. It can just produce vibrations. It can produce these thermomechanical waves.
My brain, it has been pressurized. So even while I'm sitting here, my brain is pressurized. My ears are ringing constantly. V2K is quite similar in a way, although I don't hear any voices. If your ears are constantly ringing, hissing, it's just horrible. is absolute, and vibrating, the vibration of the body.
Victims also report thoughts and dreams being sent into their head daily. The thoughts are often indistinguishable from your own, but are obvious because they seem out of place compared to your usual thoughts. These could be regularly appearing subtle thoughts telling you to kill yourself or to hurt people.
They can elicit strong emotional reactions on people, and they could do it with whatever emotion. We can turn you on right now. We can make you angry. We can make you sad. And they would do it. It was like they pressed a button and it just went, and it just would just go away. And I just felt like totally normal.
The dreams are noticeably different from ordinary dreams in that they are often vulgar or include some kind of trauma, and they are usually more memorable and less abstract.
I was aware for a while that my dreams were being influenced. It's very, very clear that they're using dreams to reinforce the programming, to program the unconscious mind. I'm getting the same thing, some kind of like trauma dream where there's like something goes really wrong. There's a lot of war themes, sick themes, things I wouldn't even want to talk about. It's some kind of catastrophe. A lot of that is to traumatize you even when you sleep, because remember, this is trauma-based mind control.
These special dreams are dreams where you can remember the most part of it at the next day.
Targeted individuals often also complain of nightmarish, Stasi-like gang-stalking, which was recently acknowledged by popular right-wing commentator Nick Fuentes.
Thoughts on gang-stalking?
It's real. And if you're a targeted individual, you need to watch out, okay? For your own safety. Don't say anything. It's real, and I'm talking to you. Yeah, you. If you're a targeted individual, don't say anything. No one can help you. Nobody can help you. You think you could go to the police? You think you could go to the law enforcement? No one will believe you. They're in on it. So just shut up.
When I get up, I get attacked. When I have breakfast, I get attacked. When I go out, I get followed and attacked. When I come home, I get attacked. When I have dinner, I get attacked. And when I go to bed, I get attacked. They are on me 24 hours a day, 7 days a week.
The attacks suffered by targeted individuals don't last an hour and then disappear. When it begins, it doesn't stop. Ever. Every single minute, every day, every year, without end. Attacks that react to their thoughts and torture them inside their head. Some victims have been suffering this never-ending torture for 2 decades, although there seems to have been a sharp rise in cases since 2016. They are ignored by their politicians, abandoned by friends and family, and written off as schizophrenic by medical practitioners. They often end up unemployed, homeless, or committing suicide. But as Havana Syndrome gets more media coverage, the voices of victims are becoming louder and bolder. They know they are under attack from the same weapon, wireless frequencies, or under-the-skin technology aimed at disrupting their neurological functions.
Technology in and of itself is not bad. It's who's in control of the technology that is bad. Now, being that we know throughout history that humans have been experimented on time and time again against their consent, would you trust your government to be in control of your thoughts?
Why do they pick me? I have never done anything. I've never said anything. Well, maybe you're being experimented on. Some may be targeted for a reason. Some may be targeted as an experiment to see what happens through this electromagnetic means.
I believe psychotronic weapons should be banned. The damage that they are causing, we're in a war right now.
I've met many civilian victims of anomalous health incidents now. Most look broken. You can see it in their eyes. One victim, a widow in her 70s, sent me an email the other day to say she had been sexually violated for 2 straight hours, and that other things had happened that she just couldn't bring herself to type. I don't think there's a precedent for this kind of torture.
I have met people that have been subjected to such horror that it makes me more determined to bring this to an end.
The technology, the harassment campaigns, all of that is intended for a lifetime. Only a very, very few instances have I heard of someone's targeting stopping. And we've had quite a number of targeted individuals that have passed as a result of their targeting.
I am usually a very, upbeat, outgoing, happy person. And, these weapons have made me question whether I want to live. And that is just not me.
When you start communicating with people, you do realize that I'm not the only one. There are quite a number of people out there that are complaining about the same thing.
This is specifically made to make a person look like they're crazy.
I think it's the most important human rights issue we have in the world today, because we have a situation now where we have technology which can remotely influence people to such a degree where they can't work, they can't do anything, they become emotional wrecks.
I have said I've been out of work for 4 years now. It's like poverty engineering to drain you to the point that you cannot sustain yourself.
I got 1013 and taken away for 8 days, and at the same time, it took my family away for 4 years.
As a mother, it's hard raising a small child, especially when you can't tell people about what's going on without them thinking you're crazy or trying to take your child away.
They're isolating you, and there's a risk of you dying from it. People have not only committed suicide, but died from it because it's so dangerous.
It's an extremely horrible torture, ultimately to isolate you and drive you to suicide, or cause you to inflict harm on someone or reach out and do something stupid. Over a period of time, going through this for years and years and years, it'll wear a person down. It really will drive you to the very bottom.
With this technology, you can torture a person at home. The person doesn't have to leave the home. You can do everything. You can kill the person. You can keep him from sleeping for weeks. Then he goes to the psychiatry.
I couldn't trust what I was hearing. I couldn't trust what I was seeing at times. It makes me feel like I'm in the outside of an inside joke.
These are highly covert, highly illegal, and they're invisible, which makes it extremely hard to prove.
The trauma that this experience induces, not only from being denied that it exists and your family and friends not understanding and turning against you, the authorities not listening to the cries and pleas of what you're going through, so you're you're isolated.
I'm blindfolded, and I had the inability to see who's doing this to me.
When people come out and say, this is happening to me, and they tell their stories, most people don't listen and they dismiss by reflex action. That gap must be bridged if we're going to do something about this.
Every year would go by, I kept thinking, well, it should be over after the 2-year mark. So now here I am at 7.5 years, and it's obvious there's no end in sight.
It's just a horrible thing to go through. It's unbelievably horrible, and I don't know, I want it to stop.